Hi everyone. Alright, so I am doing my first review of the first little short story from Dragon Fantastic, and it was called Lethal Perspective by Alan Dean Foster. So, okay, this short story was really weird. I did not know, it was even, this group of dragons in like the modern age. Apparently it doesn't tell the time, but it says something about technology, so I'm guessing it's about maybe 1980s, something about that, because one of the dragons refers to the 1920s and the 1930s, one of its exploits that it did. And this group of dragons goes to Mount Everest to sit and basically talk about their exploits and see who basically is the best. And on the opposite side of Mount Everest, there's this French group of climbers going up the mountain, and I'm like, okay, so that's the only thing that I see referred to anything. Like, it was a very confusing beginning page. And then all of a sudden it's it basically was talking about these dragons coming to the mountain, to this special place, this cave within Mount Everest, to do this thing. The writing of Alan very much was like, it reminded me of, it makes me feel of C.S. Lewis and his writing of, of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I have another one of his books, and it's sort of it's a legend retelling of Cupid and his wife person thing. And yeah, that's what the writing reminded me of. It was very short, and it just confused me a little. I was like, this is just not so much confusion, just a little bit, but most of it was like, what's really and then literally the end, this little dragon, it's more like a little sprite of a dragon, basically comes and says, I'm here, I have exploits to tell. And it basically is what I read. It basically is describing here, I go invisibly among those humans who are ready and those who are reluctant. I breathe the addiction into their nostrils and their mouths, and then when they weaken and are susceptible, I light their cigarettes. It basically makes me think of, like, this guy is some drug dealer, or, basically is this dragon, supposedly, basically goes around and gives these people, like, coke, or, I don't know. And then basically, once they're, like, dependent on it, basically lights them up, like a cigarette. And apparently he won. I more than likely will spoil all this stuff, but these are just short stories of these authors, and it's like, this guy was weird. This author's thing was really weird. So my next one is, and there was no breaks within it, so I doubt there are going to be much breaks within any of these. But anyway, my next little short story is called The Champion of Dragons by Mickey Zucker. Reichert? I don't know how to pronounce those weird, like, German names? Is it a German name? I'm not 100% sure, but, yeah. So, yeah, that's my next book. I'll see you all next. Alright, so I finished the second one, and it was called The Champion of Dragons by Mickey Zucker. Reichert? I don't know how to pronounce that, whatever. This one that I just read was a Asian one, because I have people called Yusashibo and Rumiko, and we're okay. So we have Miura Yusashibo and Otaki Nakamura. Yeah. Those are the two full names that were said at the beginning, and then there's Rumiko, and they keep saying sensei, and all I know is that in Asia, like China, Japan, like those two places, like, so I'm saying Asia, it's you know, very Asian inspired. It doesn't say exactly where in Asia here, but hopefully if you know from like the pronunciation of the names that I've just said, you might be able to say in the comments of where those names are from and what region they're from. This was a weird, sort of a weird one. It was all about the person going to kill a dragon, and there's no mention of a dragon other than he's going to go defeat one. There's no mention of like what they look like and apparently all this stuff. And apparently, you know, there's actually no real dragon at all, but not exactly sure. And then apparently Rumiko says right here, I understand Mimasaka has been plagued by a demon for 300 years. That didn't make sense. I don't know. This one didn't really make sense because there's all this talk of like, oh, we have to go defeat a dragon and just, you know, all of that. And like, I am the dragon. The person, Shibo. I'm calling him Shibo because I can't pronounce like the USA part of the name. I don't know how to properly pronounce that. So Shibo goes and finds this man and says, I killed the last dragon and I'm now the dragon. It's like, it's not an actual dragon, it's just the title of like, you know, I'm taking on the title of dragon. This was a weird one. It didn't make a lot of sense. And like the guy, Shibo, was like, I'm dedicated to the sword, I'm dedicated to defeating this dragon, I'm dedicated, and he has a wife, which is Rumiko. And it just, you know, it's really, I don't know, it was really weird. I don't like you, Mickey Zucker. You had a weird one. This didn't even have anything to do with dragons. And the way he wrote was very well. I basically could understand it as I read. It flowed very nice. It actually had 2 parts to this short story, which was nice. So I got to extend it a little bit. Yeah, but, you know, I don't much like this Mickey Zucker. His little short story, and So, my next story I'm going to be reading is called Phobic by Lawrence Schimmel. Am I pronouncing it right? Phobic Schimmel? Anyway, that's my next one that I'm reading. So I finished my next one, and it was it broke in a 2-parter. It is Phobiac by Lawrence Schimmel. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing it right, but anyway. It's really short, like literally look how short it is. It's like 2 pages. Like that's the beginning there, and then like there's my chapter mark. It was an interesting really little short story, and I think it would have made like an interesting sort of like actual full story, like fuller or like longer short story if you didn't want to write a full like novel like this. But it was really it's really cute. The flow was very nice, and then the little guy, who I think he has a name. He's not, the only thing that he's known as is he's called the guy in this is called the proprietor. So like the owner of this shop that apparently is along Museum Mile, and it's all this like antiques, museum like stuff that you can buy from, you know, close to where the museums are. Such. We've got located down 84th Street, closer to 5th than Madison, and the place is called Fenwick's. I don't think it's a real place, but this, like, in Manhattan, that's where it is. Yeah, and it was sweet, and then something bad happened, and like there's no dragon at all until literally it says, like, where is it? He starts to charge the card. And he's looking at this name George. You never get his full name. It's George, and then the last name starts with B-A. And then something, and then right here, a gurgle tried to escape his lips, but was choked off by the burst of flame rising spontaneously from his snout. Damned reflexes, the dragon muttered once its dizziness from the transformation had subsided. So this dragon can transform himself. So the proprietor is the dragon. It was just, I think that concept, I don't know if it's done already, but that concept is pretty cool, okay? And yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. I like it. I may even use that at some point. I don't know, not any point time soon, but that is actually pretty cool. And he goes and, you know, flames up the George guy, and it's like, oh, it could even be like, you know, a series of like little incidences that happens with him, the proprietor, and sorry, like some sort of like children's book, like very short and like nothing like too heavy. Just like it actually made me smile and like literally laugh near the end. It's like, oh, like I was doing that. Like it's sweet and sad and funny all at the same time. So yeah, this was an enjoyable one. This Lawrence Chanel. He was very enjoyable. I will try to make sure to have all of the I guess all, like, I'm showing it on my camera, so I will get rid of this, or maybe I'll write it down. I don't know, but I will try to put all the titles and the authors down below so that, I don't know, you can go find the authors if you want. I don't know, but whatever. My next one is called Home Security by Karen Haber. And this should be interesting. I'm back. So, that's my next one. And with my next short story called Home Security by Karen Haber. Whatever. This had a bunch of parts in it, and it was actually really enjoyable, this one. It was about this lawyer who kept getting her house burglarized, her stuff all like being stolen, but she's not completely worried about the stuff because apparently, because I'm guessing she's a really good lawyer, she can replace the stuff easily. But, you know, her place is getting burglarized, and, well, it's a really, really nice place, but it's in a bad kind of part of town, but apparently it's like a 15-minute walk away from her work, so, well, it's a nice, like, no, a 5-minute walk? What did she say? Anyway, it's a short walk from work. I just tried finding where it was. But, so and then her boyfriend comes over and like they're talking and he's like, why don't you move in with me? I have a better place and probably he didn't say, but probably in a better neighborhood than the one she's in. But she's like, no, I'm not going to. She worked really hard to find this place and so she wanted to keep it. So, it goes to like sort of like this fast forwarding of life, and she's doing this stuff. She's gone to her locksmith's place and doing all this stuff, but she gets burglarized again. And so asks her boyfriend about this person that he knows that he told her about when he came over the other night. And well, she gets this really, really nice burglar system, and it works. It works amazingly. But then, apparently, also her neighborhood has really bad, or the apartment building she has, the power tends to go out and then come back on, so it fizzes with certain stuff. And it made and something happened. Well, it was good and bad at the same time. It worked in her favor, but it was like, it freaked her out. And you know, like, I haven't even got, like, you're probably wondering, what about the dragons? Where are the dragons? I'm getting to the dragon. This thing that she got for protection security was a program, a virtual reality program that, you know, it made an actual digital thing in real life, and it was a dragon. And like, this thing, it was the coolest thing, and apparently this is set this is set in the future apparently, because she's talking about going back. I read it. Yeah, here. I had made a special trip back to 1962 to bake some pieces for a big date. So this it doesn't say what year or era this is, but apparently it's so far in the future that they've got technology where you can go back in time, which is so weird. And then this technology that can make like virtual reality stuff, sort of. Like, this person set up this rig, and I don't exactly know what rig entails, but it made this dragon, and it scared the living shit out of this burglar. And then the program fizzed, and she was the security program that her boyfriend's friend made actually didn't have the dragon in it. He was going through images, and she stopped on the dragon. But he said it's part of a game program, and said, "Oh, no, I'll do it. It'll be fun." And I like this book had a bunch of breaks, so I was able to take my time reading it. But it was the coolest thing. Karen was very good with her writing style and the way it flowed. It was really good. It was very good. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have nothing bad to say about Karen's futuristic dragon security book. It was very good, and I even read back here, from a virtual reality dragon hired to keep the burglars at bay. This is that was a really cool one. I actually may keep it, or if I decide not to keep it, I more than likely will photocopy that section of stuff. And yeah, I probably will, because I'm gonna actually ear dog it. I don't like ear dogging it. I think it's a bad thing to do. But when I'm not keeping it, I'll do it. And like, it's already destroyed anyway, so whatever. So that's that one. And my next one I'm going to read is called The Stolen Dragon by Kimberly Gunderson. And so far they've all been males, but the last one was a female and this one's a female, so this is going to be interesting. I think I like a lot of female writing better than I do a male writing. There's some male stuff that I have in here, like the anonymity stuff. A lot of it is like her ideas and her stuff, but her ghostwriter is a dude, so. There's that. Do I have my CSI books and my Ready Player One? Those are, written by guys, so. I like females better, but, guys are, I like a few of the guys. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to doing my stuff and reading more. Like, that's a good chunk I've read. That's completed. Right? That's pretty good, right? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Alright, so I finished, where's that? The Stolen Dragon by Kimberly Gunderson. This was an interesting story. There was no actual real dragon. It was a golden dragon statue. And this story contained, sorry, my head is, something's pulling on it. Something's tugging on one of my strands. And it wasn't my favorite. And why is that fallen? It wasn't my favorite. I didn't like it all that much. It was very, I don't know, it was a little scary. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is like terrifying. It was just like, I don't know, this guard took something that he thought this urchin had stolen, and then he was like, well, I'm gonna keep it since I never get paid that much from the governor anyway, of this town that apparently he works within. And then this pain started to happen apparently, and then he eventually gets it to the woman who made it. He had lost two fingers. I think it's these two. I don't know. It just said he lost, the pinky. So yeah, it was like these two fingers here. And she was like, oh, thank you for returning it. And then that same urchin climbs up into the wagon, and he's sneering at the guard. And literally, the last two things the guy said was, just a finger or two, Jid whispered with realization. Just a finger or two. Because, like, Aladdin, that's set in, somewhere, like, in, like, India, in that sort of area, where there's a lot more, brown-skinned people. And it's that era time of, like, that... I'm not trying to be racist or discriminate, it's just a description of my best description of, like, from the Disney one, because, you know, for thieves, either you get your whole hand chopped up, or, you know, instead just if it's a first offense, a finger or two gets chopped off. And, you know, in Aladdin, when Jasmine says, like, when the little boy really wants an apple, she's like, she takes it and goes, here you go, and she says, how are you gonna pay? The shop person says, how are you gonna pay for it? Oh, I don't have any money. And she's like, oh, so you're a thief, and grabs her wrist and plonks it on there, takes a sword out, and is about to chop the hand off. So it's like, yeah, that's where I'm getting all that from. So I didn't like that. It was like, you know, you're still, it's not even with dragons anyway. Not even like, you know, like the virtual dragon that was, you know, for security reasons, and not like an actual real dragon. Just, I didn't like this one. Sorry, Kimberly, but like, I didn't like it. I didn't like that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna be working on my next one, which is called Cold Stone Barrow by Elizabeth Forrest. Sorry, my water was like right there. This thing. You probably could have seen it. So yeah, I was kept getting it away. So anyway, that's my next one. Finish my next one. The Cold Stone Barrow by Elizabeth Forrest. And it was an interesting story, a very interesting concept that this woman wrote. And the way she wrote, her writing, the flow of the story was very good. It was very well. I kept pace with it. I understood everything. But what she wrote about, I don't know, I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea and the plot of the story. Like, the whole thing flowed really well, but I didn't like it. It didn't make me feel good. Like, and I know some dragons in some situations can be put as the villain, but I don't know, it just didn't make me feel good. It didn't make me feel right. I didn't feel right reading this. Like, these two people, the main people that we have, excuse me, of the story are Albin, A-L-B-E-N, and Rain, and then they have a dog named Red Star with them. The two of them, they're in dire despair right now, pretty much throughout the whole story. They're trying to find someone to help them with this fever Rain has, and they go through this, they're going up and into this mountain, and then this mist rolls in, and then everything is covering them, and then they're somehow magically arrive in this little village that's literally sort of pocketed by this mountain. And they meet this man, and they meet this other woman, and then they have to go do something for this woman to help Rain because she's got this fever. And the whole situation of them in this like pocket of village and what they do, it just it didn't feel right. It made me feel, I don't know, like something died inside of me, sort of. Like, it wasn't a nice feeling. It wasn't like a sickening feeling, but it just, I don't know, something just didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel something. I don't know. But it was okay reading. It was okay. I think I may have liked it better if it was like a fuller novel, or like a fuller short story, like maybe like it was like a 10 chapter type thing. I don't really know, but because I've never I have read some anthologies, but it has been a while. I know that with a 2-pack Harlequin book, which has 2 stories in it, is like 6 chapters. And a normal one usually has about 12 chapters in it, but they're long chapters. So, I don't know. I didn't feel right with that short story. But I'm glad I'm done it. The next one I'm on, which I won't read until tomorrow because Manny's is supposed to somehow be over it sometime soon. And because Dad's home, Uncle Nick was home earlier and all that stuff. So anyway, my next one that I'll be reading, like, probably tomorrow is Fluff the Tragic Dragon by Laura Resnick. And yes, I have a Garfield bookmark page holder that literally goes like this. So yeah, I'm nearly at the halfway point, as you can see, which is good. And I only started reading it today, so how many chapters? Short stories? I have like 9. Not like 9 chapters. Why do I keep saying chapters? I have 9 short stories left in here. I have 16. Yeah. So I need this one that I'm reading, and I will be like halfway through the book. I don't know, but I'm gonna get going. It's where I'm at right now, so yeah, I'll see you in my next little part. Hi, I got the next part of this anthology thing, which is, oh crap, where's the title of it? Fluff the Tragic Dragon by Laura Resnick. This was, it wasn't as great of a short story in the beginning, but like the last third of the short story was interesting when because you actually meet the dragon. So we get this person, Esther, Esther, and she's just come home from like hitting the pavement looking for a job, and she had a audition that day, so she's basically exhausted. And one of the tenants in their apartment building, it's a 4-story thing going on, and one of the tenants, called Mrs. Pearl, said, "There's a dragon in the basement, there's a dragon in the basement." And apparently all the other tenants have met the dragon and screamed and ran away. So they all go tell Esther to go down to, you know, see about the dragon, like there's an actual dragon down here. And it's like, if you're so smart and, you know, have all the good ideas, smart ideas, why don't you go down there, see about the real dragon, and then come back up and tell us what to do about it. So, sorry. We just had people from, oh, your door's not closed. People from Rona, like, you know, Home Depot, there's another place that's called Rona and does this same thing. They were here doing some railing stuff, and so that's the big noise. And so she goes down, sees the dragon, and then talks to it for like, I'm guessing an hour or so, because like one of her friends in the building basically yells down to her and be like, "Hey, are you still alive?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Woohoo, you're alive!" And this dragon's really nice. It's a Chinese dragon. Apparently all dragons are from China. Apparently so. And yeah, that last third of the thing was like, it's really sweet. I liked the, you know, because she went down there and talked to it, the dragon, and part of the dragon thing is that they're hoarders and they collect stuff. And apparently had all these board games and all this other stuff, and apparently all this money in like shiny stuff, like money and jewels and all that stuff, all the shiny stuff. And so there was a lot of it. So a bit, because apparently Esther gets it all, because she went down there, she talked to the dragon, and, you know, I'm not like, he's lonely and such, and, you know, all that. Like, that was the sweet part, that she got to know the dragon, And apparently dragons can grant wishes too, according to this short story. So this was an interesting little one. It wasn't as like pull me in like, oh my god, I really love this little short story like I did with Home Security, but it was a good one. Laura Resnick was really good with her short story. It's very nice. I would sort of recommend her. Her writing style was very good. Like, I read it really well and I didn't have any trouble. I did have a little trouble as like I had to reread like 2-sentence sections sometimes, but it wasn't that bad. It was very good reading it. So yeah. My next one is called The Hidden Dragon by Barbara Delaplace. So yeah, and I think if I read this one, I will be halfway done. Yes. Once I read The Hidden Dragon, I'm halfway done the book. Oh my gosh. I wasn't able to read anything for like the weekend for like the last 3 days. You can't help it. I had stuff to do on Friday. I had to get all this stuff prepped. And then the party was Saturday, and then I spent basically all day Sunday with Mandy. So anyway, yeah. I have the first season of Dracula with John Rhys Meyer. And I can't wait to watch it. So I'm gonna get going with that. And then I'm reading more of the stuff intermitted with that season. So yeah, I will be back later. Hi. So I finished The Hidden Dragon, and even though this read really well, and she or he? She wrote it very well. Like, it was very well written. I feel like I need to be in the center. Alright, fine, I'll work. I did not like the content. I hated the content because it was basically a husband beating on his wife, okay? That's all it was. It was this woman getting beat on by her husband and like her taking it pretty much. And just like, oh my god. It was basically, she said it was, where is it? It's not time for another lesson in courteous behavior, is it? Basically, he's telling her to do stuff properly and demands that he have supper ready at the proper time. And the fact that she should just keep house and all that such. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, I hate this man. And the dragon part apparently is, I believe it's just a manifestation of her, because she said the eyes are very familiar. Like, she said they're very familiar. And when she looked in the mirror, she realized that they're identical to her. Like, they're her eyes. The dragon has her eyes. So yeah. So the dragon, you know, like, she finally realized this and crying hysterically. And what does her husband do? Instead of like, oh my god, come here, baby, what's wrong? Why are you crying? He's like, where is it? She starts off sobbing and such, and he says, Sarah, are you alright? You know, concerned, sort of, with tear-stained face, broken mirror, and a bleeding hand. She says, no, get away from me! He says, Sarah, come back here, Sarah! And she says, leave me alone! And says, Sarah, come here! He says, go away! And she says, the last thing he says, are you defying me, Missy? Like, oh my god. Defying you? She's terrified. For some odd reason, and you're getting angry at her because she's not listening to you? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my god. So yeah. Even though Barbara wrote very well, and it read, and I had a bunch of breaks, I hated the content. The content was ridiculous. It's one thing to read abusive relationships, or like, you know, abusive relationships as like, yeah, I was in an abusive relationship and I'm not in that anymore. It's one thing to read about that and sort of have like mini flashbacks, but like when you're basically reading it as like, you know, we're gonna start this book, which is going to be like, how much is it? How many pages do we have? Like nearly 300 pages. Let's say this is the book. We start right at the beginning of like, oh, we're going to have like, you know, like 3 to 5 chapters of, you know, domestic abuse. We're gonna do that. No, I don't want to read that. Like, ugh. Okay, I don't want to read that. The dragon part is like, that was pretty cool. And like the end, like she's talking about, oh, how the police will come and they'll treat her nice. They'll say nice things to her because she's a widow. She lost her husband. And then she says, they'd better be nice. And better is in italics. After all, if they weren't, the dragon would come back. It's just funny, but yeah. I did not like that one. My next one here, and now I get to bend the other side, is Take Me Out to the Ball Game by Esther M. Friesner? Yeah, so, I don't know. We got, you know, I guess baseball references in here. And now, I am halfway through the book now, so hopefully, I don't know why I keep doing that. Hopefully I will finish this by the weekend and I can read it immediately. But I'm going to go to Manny's tomorrow and I'm going to watch YouTube and read more because I am going to be on the last disc of Dracula. So, yeah. Alright, I am bloody tired making this little clip in my video, but I finished, oh fudge, what was it called again? Take Me Out to the Ball Game by Esther M. Friesner. So yeah, as I predicted, it was all about baseball. And it was, at first, like maybe the first 5 pages were a bit funny. It was relatively long. But then it just kept getting like, I'm not liking it. In general, the writing was very good. I could read it properly and all that such. But the content was just, not for me. So yeah, I definitely will not be keeping this book. But regardless, I still have a nice chunk here that I need to finish. And we'll be doing that tomorrow during the day and then down at Manny's. Oh, because I'm tired. And it's bedtime. I don't know what time it is. I'm tired. Yeah. So, my next one, which I'll be reading tomorrow, is The Dragon's Skin by Ruth Berman. Yes. So, yeah. Tomorrow. I have 7 left, including the one I will be reading. So yes, we'll see you on the next clip. Hi! Alright, forgive my eyes, I had a shower. And also, I'm in a different room. This is not my usual room because I am over at Manny's parents' house. And if you can hear stuff, Manny's playing Zelda Breath of the Wild right now, while I my little mini book review on this book that I just read. The Dragon's Skin by Ruth Berman. Yeah, so I did not like the story. The story made little sense until like, I don't know, the very end when this pink dragon appeared out of this pink tower, came down and basically put on its scales. It was doing in the book. It was like the last 3 pages, right? Yeah, like the last 2 full pages and a half a page. So like it was one side of the page. But anyway, this was a stupid mini story. I did not like it. It was really, really stupid. It's just ridiculous. And I don't, sorry, I am on my knees right now because you're on a nightstand. And yeah. Anyway, I did not like it. Like, and her writing was just really weird, so that I didn't understand a thing that was written until, like, as I said, the last 2.5 pages. And, like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know where I was. Apparently, it seems like it was a mixture of our world and fantasy world, because they mentioned Paris and Africa and, like, some normal animals like elephants and antelopes and goat and pigs and yeah. And then, like, this fight happened. It just made no sense. Like, the flow of it made no sense. Bleh. Ugh, I did not like it. It was weird, and it made no sense. That's it. Did not like it. Alright, so, the next one I will be reading is called Xing Liang. I don't know how to pronounce, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, but it's by Tanya Huff. Yeah, so, that's it. Is it going to be a short one? No, it's another long one, but there are a bunch of breaks. Oh wow, this is long. This is like, oh, wow, look how long that is. That's long. So yeah, that's my next thing that I'm going to be working on. Who knows if I'll be able to get my little mini review done here. This is also one of Manny's tie-dye shirts he made. Made them himself, and I'm just borrowing it for now because I didn't want to put my clothes back on that I needed to, wear it back home. I'm not sleeping over there. I'm gonna get to reading more. And I'm hungry, so I'm gonna have a snack. Snack time. Hi, I'm home now. And I finished, finally, the stupid short story that was long called Xing Liang by Tanya Huff. I'm probably butchering that last word, but I'm sorry. I can't help it because I don't know how to pronounce Chinese. And it is Chinese because China, like, Chinese heritage is mentioned, and apparently they're Chinese Canadian, which is pretty cool. So that story is based in Canada somewhere. But other than that being cool, it might have been because I was, at Manny's and I wanted to watch him play his game, and but this story was so difficult to read. It was. I didn't like the content, and even as I say, it might have been because of I was sitting watching. I wanted to watch Manny play Zelda, and he was doing other stuff, which was basically distracting me. But yeah, I couldn't. The flow of the story was not very good until the last 7 pages, where I wasn't distracted by. But still, I didn't really like it. Yeah, I didn't really like this Chinese story. It's not that I have any problem with Chinese dragons or people and all that such. It's just the content was not my thing, and the way the person wrote it wasn't my thing either. So yeah, I didn't like it, and I don't want it. So yeah, that's my 2-minute thing. Cause yeah, we've got okay. I don't know what I'm gonna try. I don't know. Wow. What time it is, but apparently it's when the Vietnam people were coming over and moving over to here, and yeah, and I guess at a time where Chinese people had in the recent years before had come over, and I don't know, but their parents, the main person Donna and her elder brother Bradley, but now he wants to be called by his Chinese name, are we have a set thing for you that you're going to do, and you're going to be the perfect children, and you're going to have the best jobs, and all of that such. Donna, who is the eldest, is the perfect daughter and all that such. Whereas Bradley, or Bang Keen, I don't know, but he's Bradley, but wants to be called his Chinese name, is like, starts to be like, I want to know more of my Chinese heritage. I want to know more about it. And then gets into like these Chinese gangs who are basically saying, oh, these Vietnam people are coming here, are going to steal our turf and all our jobs and etc. etc. You know, sort of basically like how she literally quoted in here saying like, oh, you're just gonna, what, you're going to, you've joined a gang that copies West Side Story, because literally it's the Americas who are living here are trying to kick out the Spanish? No, Mexican? I don't know, but it's this group of people that moved over, and you know, yeah, I can't remember. I have sorry if I keep catching, like, if I'm not able to get rid of certain stuff when I edit this, it's because I'm waiting for Lauren to come, because it is 3:46, so she should be home anytime, so yeah. But yeah, like, I thought it was cool and weird at the same time that she quoted like, oh my god, have you joined a gang and becoming like West Side Story all of a sudden? Oh, and I'm bloody tired because I didn't get home till like 3 in the morning, and I didn't go to bed till like roughly no, I got home about 2:30, something like that. I don't know, something like that, but I didn't go to bed according to the clock by like 3 in the morning. I had to get up for was up at 7:30. Then I was up at 8 because I was like, oh god, I'm exhausted. But, you know, I had to get up at 8 to get Lauren on the bus because Dad had to leave for work and the bus hadn't arrived yet. And I also had an appointment today, so, lovely and tired. But anyway, wasn't too fond of this Chinese one. Just because of the story and all that such. Not because of, like, she chose to have, like, Chinese Canadian people or all that stuff. Anyway, my next one is Concerto Academico by Barry N. Malzberg. Did I say it right? I don't know, but I'm hoping it's a short one. Oh god, yes, it's a short one, thank god. I really want short ones because that's all that's left. And like literally this is like 2 pages of like advertisements for other books by these authors here. I've got 5 mini series left, yes. The one I'm reading is going to be like 10 pages. The next one is going to be a little long. But the last 2... Okay, hold on. Hold the phone, okay. The next one I'm going to read is short. The second one is a little long. The third one is short. Okay, so I've got 4 short ones and a semi-long one. So thank God, I hopefully will be able to finish soon, like tonight. And then I can start on my next personal book. I still have yet to put, okay, so I actually got an email from my interlibrary loan. And they said, oh, I think I misspelled that. But I gotta check my email, but it said the book that I asked for was not there. So I am going to try again with actually looking at my thing and see if I can find it. So anyway, yes, I will be back in a little bit. Oh, and do you like my eyes? I actually have like oh my god, I failed. I really need to get actual liquid liner. This is like a felt liner, which is not what I want. So apparently there's this NYC thing that a Canadian bought. She lives in Toronto, so she bought it and it was bought at Walmart, so I will see that later. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Okay, so I finished called Concerto Academico. I may have mispronounced that, but it can't be helped. And there goes my phone. It was interesting. It's not to say, I can't say that I didn't fully like it, but I liked it enough where it was like, it flowed really well. I enjoyed it somewhat. And it was about this people in this concert hall and they're talking. I don't know. It just didn't feel like sort of fleshed out. It felt like basically an excerpt from an actual book, and it just this didn't fit. The short story I read didn't feel, I don't know, fleshed out enough. But other than that, it just, I can't really say anything about the characters or the dragon. The dragon was interesting. It just appeared coming up the aisle from backstage, from the back of the house. That's what it's called. I gotta remember my theater's terms. And basically scared off the conductor and a few of the people that were literally at the back of the orchestra, which is at the back of the theater. And there's still apparently the body of the orchestra. And it just, I don't know, it felt really weird. But it flowed quite well, and I read it really well. So, meh. It's a meh story. It was really short. I'm thanking God it was really short. Now I have the long one, which is roughly 20 pages. And it is called Dragon's Destiny by Josepha. Yeah, Josepha Sherman. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry, but because it would be Joseph or Joe. Yeah, it would be Josepha, because if you take the A off, it would be Joseph. And I know how to pronounce Joseph from Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, so it would be Josepha. So anyway, yeah, keep saying that name. It's my next one. Excuse me. Longest one, yeah, it's pretty long. That's how long it is. It's decently long. And then I have 3, which are really short. So anyway, here we go. I'm nearly done. Look how little it is. Oh, I would love to be done before I go out for like 6:30. I'll probably more than likely leave my house for 6:15. So it'd be lovely if I could finish this book, this damn book, before that. And you're more than likely, excuse me, hearing my sister because she's being loud. And, you know, she's home. So now I just gotta wait for someone else to come home so that I have the ability to leave my house at some point. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm yawning like crazy. Let's go continue stuff. I'm back with, where is it? Shit. I need to do this a lot better. Dragon's Destiny by Josepha Sherman. I hope that focused because I have a blindingly glaring sunlight on me, as you can see. It's so freaking bright. But yes, I finished it, and it was a meh story for me. It flowed really well, like the reading it flowed really well. The writing worked as well too. I didn't care much for the characters. The short story was your basic like dragon, you know, like no human hunting dragon type thing where the dragon kidnapped a princess. Well, she's a princess by half-blood because she's the niece of the prince, like the actual prince. She's the niece. And yeah, it's all about that. So yeah, Dad's home now, but you know, it was okay. You know, somehow it feels like it could have been like fleshed out. This short story could have feel fleshed out more, but meh. Anyway, yeah, it was okay. And as I said, the writing and the wording, the spelling, all that sort of stuff, it flowed. Yeah, as I said, the writing and the reading of it flowed really well. I was able to read it really well, but it was just meh. It was just like a normal traditional type of, oh, human going to slay the dragon and rescue the damsel in distress. But the damsel in distress wasn't really a damsel in distress. She actually fought and kind of became annoying for the dragon. Anyway, yeah. My next one is called, this is weird, Between Tomatoes and Snapdragons by Jane M. Lidscold. Yeah. This is the next 3 of them are going to be really short, so I don't know if I'll be able to get them. I might be able to for the next like half an hour. It'd be good because I would love to finish this. If, you know, like if I have one left, that would be great. Or like, you know, if I have a little bit left, like a little bit left for by the time we get back to Manny's after we go to Costco, because we're going to Costco, and, you know, we do groceries that he wants to do, and that's such. You know, I can get started on my next one, which I'm really excited for. If you haven't seen, I'm really excited for this next one. I actually got it while I was reading this. It was one of my my orders. So after this whole book review is done, like the entire Dragon Fantastic is done, I will be showing you the book that I received, and I'm excited for it. So yeah, I will see you in another bit. Alright, so I finished my next book, which was Between Tomatoes and Snapdragons by Jane M. Lidsgold. Yes, I've bookmarked it because I actually enjoyed this book. It was very, not book, short story. It was very good actually, and like this, and she, like literally she said, planting a tomato beside snapdragons was probably the thing that caused it, but also probably the shooting star that landed in her garden caused the dragon egg to be born in her tomato plant. So she had all these, like slowly, it was the summertime, all these tomatoes started growing, but so all of her tomatoes were growing, but there was something strange. You know how I believe you know how these, and it's written in there that tomatoes have these, I believe it's like shit, I don't want to read in there, but they're little white flowers that grow, and then apparently they close up and slowly become a green tomato, and then, you know, grow into a red tomato. I believe that's how it was written, but there is this red spotted flower on there, and she said she was going to pinch it off, but instead she left it to pitifully grow, and then slowly it grew into an egg, and then a dragon popped out of there. And this was the sweetest little dragon I read about, this little baby dragon, and I loved it. It was so adorably sweet. I loved it. It was like, I loved it. And apparently she works at a hospital, and it was great. It was so great. And then she eventually brought it to work with her, because like apparently whenever she tried to leave, it would either follow her, or, you know, if she enclosed it, it would start to peep, and she said eventually it would start to hit stuff to get out. She was worried that it would hurt itself. So apparently I would hope this was a few days later, but anyway, she got a phone call and the dragon peeped and disappeared. And then as she was looking at where it was licking this cayenne pepper off of the saucer, so she named it Cayenne. And she's looking, and then all of a sudden she realized that the dragon has chameleon properties, so it blended into its surroundings, and she's like, I really wish you could do that without me having to scare you. And then it did a little something, and then poof, it disappeared on her shoulder, like it blended in with all the stuff on her shoulder. So she brought it to work, and it was being very good and not showing itself as she was doing her rounds, but then it showed itself to this little girl, and then it showed itself to this old man who died a few hours later. And it was, you know, like those animals that come into the hospital and just, you know, make the patients feel more comfortable, and they make them happy and such. That's kind of what this dragon was doing, which was really cool. And then all of a sudden, when she was done her shift at work, she was going home, the dragon was going a little frantic, and basically, like, as it was telling her, it sat on her hand and basically nudged her arm, that's what it says, that it needed to go somewhere. And it was needed more than it needed to be with her. So it went flying off back into the hospital, and apparently into ICU unit. And yeah, that's kind of how it ended. Like, she left with sort of a smile on her face, like the dragon will make all of these patients that are feeling uncomfortable and in pain and such, make them happy in their time of, like, death sort of thing. I don't know, but yeah, and she left. And I love that little story, and as you saw, I did dog ear it, so there's only two stories that I really liked in here, and the writing flowed really well, the plot, the entire story just flowed really well. When I was reading it, it was really well written, and I liked it. It was really sweet. So there's now 2 stories I'm gonna photocopy from here, because it's only 2! If it was more than, you know, like 2 right now, I would keep this book, but there's no point in keeping it when it's only literally 2 books I want to keep. And I have 2 short stories left in here, and I'm going to show you the next one I'm reading. Manny's also on his way, so I'm glad I have short stories left. So my next one is The Trials and Tribulations of Myron Blumberg Dragon by Mike Resnick. So yeah, and like, I gotta show you, look how much is left, and that's 2 short stories right here. I get to start my next book, maybe tonight. Oh, it'd be lovely. But yeah, I gotta get going because Manny is technically on his way, and we gotta... Anyway, I gotta get going, so hopefully I will get both of those short stories done tonight. Hi, I'm back at Manny's parents' house with a book, another mini short story book review. So, where is it? So, I finished The Trials and Tribulations of Myron Blumberg Dragon by Mike Resnick. And this was an interesting little short story. It read really well. There was a ton of breaks, and I don't know why, but whatever. And it may not be my cup of tea, but it was interesting. As I said, it read really well, wrote really well, and I'm sorry, it's still a little loud. Manny's got Storage Wars going on right now, the original. And I don't know what season it is, but it's when there's Renee and the Yup guy has come back. And it's so, I think it's one of the later seasons or current seasons right now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry about that in the background. But this won't be on for like a long while. So, the characters, oh my god. Myron was a sweetie. He's taking his wife's bullshit, which is really annoying, and I believe it's set back in history a little bit, like the 70s. Like, he mentioned her, like, basically leaving him, how many weeks later? 2 weeks after this whole incident has, like, happened, and then he goes, like, he basically is transformed into a dragon, is like that for, like, 2 months and maybe like 3 months. And then after that, he turns back into a human. Then literally like 2 weeks after that, his wife leaves him and says, Sylvia packs up her clothes and the portable TV and the Cuisinart and leaves without so much as a goodbye note. So, I can't remember the era. It doesn't say if it's a color TV or not, but it does say a portable TV. So, it more than likely is at an age where, you know, they were made. So I'm saying like the 70s, maybe 80s, something like that. But anyway, she was like, remember I met in a previous short story, The Hidden Dragon, where it was an abusive husband. He was verbally and physically abusive to his wife, and just like, holy shit, just so abusive to her. Whereas Sylvia was always verbally abusive to her husband, and that's not good at all anyway. And I'm literally staring at my little wings, and I'm so proud of them because they look relatively good. Like on camera, I'm seeing like a little picture. I haven't seen it like any bigger than this. So I probably will never be able to do this stuff again. But anyway, it was an interesting read. A lot of breaks, which was a little annoying. And that really was it. As I said, it read really well. The writing was lovely, but the subject matter was okay, like him transforming it into a dragon and then transforming back into a human. Like, it was a slow process, not like instantaneously he turned into a dragon. Like, first he turned green, then he was getting scales, then he got a nub that turned into a tail, etc., and such and forth. Yeah. But the fact that his wife was like very verbally abusive to him was annoying, and it might have even been for the 60s, like, because I'm thinking of a really prim and proper wife that, in the time I'm thinking of, that I know this type of wife, like, she's like, oh my god, what will the neighbors think? Oh my god, you can't support me, oh my gosh. It makes me think of, like, the 50s, 60s era, where, like, most of the prim and proper wives that wore, like, you know, like, beautiful red lipstick, had, like, the coiffed, beautiful hair, and, like, those poofed out gowns, and, like, the cocktail dresses, that sort of day and age, which is, I'd say the 50s. But yeah, that's just the age that makes me think of. Yeah. You were a nice author, but author Mike Resnick, you were good, but like, I don't really read that section over and over again, that little section. If it was part of like a bigger story, then maybe I would keep it, because, you know, it's only part of it, and it was an interesting one. The way it was written, and it was written in third person, but strictly from Myron's point of view, like from the guy's point of view. So it's good. It was like nice, but not worthy of being kept. And so I am on the last short story of this fucking book. Okay, it's great. I'm on the last one. It is Straw into Gold Part 2 by Mark A. Craigbaum and Dennis L. McKiernan. If I'm not pronouncing that right, please forgive me. But it's my last one. Like, oh my lord, I have like 3 pages. 3 flipping pages. Like, right there. 3 flipping pages. And then I get to start my new book that I got, and I'm so excited. Oh gosh, that was weird. But yeah, last short story. Look, you're God. Okay, I'll be right back with my last book review. Hi, I'm back for my last book review of Straw into Gold Part 2 by Mark A. Craigbaum and Dennis L. McKiernan. Manny's now playing Zelda, so now I won't get much copyrighted stuff, hopefully. But yes, this, I don't know if you guessed it, I certainly didn't guess it, but this is sort of a continuation of the Rumpelstiltskin story, because we get to meet Rumpelstiltskin, the princess he tried to take her baby from, and, you know, him spinning straw into gold. But it involved dragons, and it was a little interesting. Like, literally, it was like so flippin' short. Very nice. The story part was interesting and a little funny, but I did not like the way it was written. There were some parts where it was like a backwards English, because it says, of a sudden, a disgruntled, ugly little man came hacking and coughing out from under the mound. Of a sudden, like literally. I'll show you where you can see. Right there, see? Of a sudden. It should actually read all of a sudden. That makes more sense, doesn't it? yeah, so that's part of the reason why I won't be keeping it, because, well, I didn't like it, actually, is because of the weird writing style and the way they wrote it. It was just weird, and yeah. And apparently the Rumpelstiltskins get said to the dragon, oh, I know that you have to bring a hoard of gold to your father because you're still living with him. And he said, I'll spin straw into gold if you give me the if you give me your firstborn child. And he's like, oh my goodness, you know my wife is pregnant? Wow. So yeah. And yeah. And then, but apparently 2 millennia pass. Like, okay, so the first millennia passes, and he's like, where's my dragon child? And he says, always said, soon, soon. And then a millennia passed, and the ugly little man died of extremely old age. And millennia more passed, and finally, the dragon's wife delivered their firstborn into the world. Exactly to term. So actually, that is like at least 3 millennias that passed. I don't know what exactly that is. I know like 2000, like a Backstreet Boys 2000 Millennium was their 2000 CD, which came out in 2000, and it was called Millennium. So I don't know exactly what that means. If, like, you know, from 2000 to 3000, if that's a millennium, that's what it works. I don't know. I don't feel like oh, okay. There we go. Man, you just answered me. So yes, 3 millenniums would be 3,000 years. So yeah. Yeah. So 3,000 years passed, and Rumpelstiltskin didn't get their child. So I don't know, but yeah, that was pretty cool that they agreed to the contract of, you know, sure, we'll give you our firstborn child. It's gonna take 3,000 years for it to come to term. But yeah, so I'm finally finished this. I have no idea how long it took, okay? I really have no idea. Well, I'll find out when I look at one of my book reviews on my laptop, and I'll see when, because I more than likely said, oh, I'm starting this, and oh, I'm continuing this now, because I believe I read the introduction before I read my interlibrary loan, and then I started officially reading the short stories after I finished it, so yeah. Yeah. So overall, this was an interesting anthology of short story books about dragons, or involving the word dragon and like dragon-like characteristics. It was interesting, and I still have 2 dog-eared marks that I only liked those 2 stories, and literally they're like at the beginning and like at the end. So I'm gonna photocopy them, and then this is going into my giveaway, like giving it to family, you know, donating it, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I can't recommend any of the authors very much. Well, I can recommend 2 of Jane L. Linskold of Between Tomatoes and Snapdragons, and Home Security by Karen Haber. Those 2 authors I can recommend because I did like their short stories in here. And yeah, so that's really all I have to say. There was a lot of them that I just did not like the plot story, but then the other ones that I didn't like was because of the way they were written and the way, like, you read it, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was this. And thank God I'm finally done, because now I get to start Intimidity and the Widow's Curse by Nancy Atherton. Yeah! Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've been dying to read this ever since I got it in. Like, a week ago. Like, literally, a week ago. I got it. I'm being weird, but I can't help it because I love antimanity, okay? I haven't even read this, okay? I haven't read it yet. Okay, I've been dying to read it. Alright, so now I'm gonna get to read it. I'm getting a lot of oily marks on it. So, let's get to reading this book, okay? So now I get to read it. It's early April in the small English village of Finch, and everyone at the village committee meeting is surprised when the elderly, soft-spoken widow, Mrs. Annabel Craven, stands to make an announcement. She's decided to hold a quilting bee in the old schoolhouse. At the quilting bee, Laurie ends up seated beside Mrs. Craven, delighted at the opportunity to learn more about her neighbor's life in the nearby village of Old Cowerton. Okay. But during their conversation, dear, sweet Mrs. Craven reveals matter-of-factly that her first husband was a horrid man who deserved to die. So she killed him. That's literally what it says there. Laurie is taken aback. Should she report the crime to the authorities and see Mrs. Craven hauled off to jail? Could there really be a murderer in their midst? Or is Miss Craven suffering from some strange delusion? With Antimidity's advice, Laurie sets out with Bree Pym to Old Cowerton to uncover the truth. It's there they learn about what the villagers refer to as the widow's curse. And the deeper Laurie digs, the more horrifying the tale becomes, until she discovers the most astonishing revelation of all. Oh my god, I don't understand what a quilting bee is. I don't understand that. I'm guessing it's like, you know, for all day long, people are just like quilting scraps of fabric together to make a blanket, because I know what a quilted blanket is. It's just, you know, that sort of stuff. And so, I don't know. But apparently she comes from the nearby village of Old Cowerton. She's not a Finch villager. I can't remember if she said in the book that oh my god, Peter, my heels are hurting. Come here. There we go. Okay. I can't remember if she said that the town meetings they hold is for all of them, for all people around the village of Finch to come in and be like, hey, it's a town meeting, and do all the town meeting sort of stuff. If I'm wrong, you can let me know in the comments below. I've only ever read all the books once, so I can't really remember properly. Yeah. But I doubt it. I think maybe she just came to the village and, you know, was suggesting they do that. And apparently they're doing it, and that's how all this is happening. But regardless, I'm gonna be enthralled in this book, in the whole, like, cozy mystery. I love these cozy mysteries by Antiminity. I love them. I fucking love them. They are fucking amazing. And I just, oh my god, they make me feel so gooey inside. I can't help it. They make me feel gooey. I love it. And I'm so happy to have been introduced to them. And my cousin's baby mama, they're currently right now they're boyfriend and girlfriend, and you know, she's having his baby. So, but I'm guessing eventually they'll get married. I don't know when, but eventually I'm pretty sure they will. But she said she's interested in these books, and you know, eventually she'll read them. Eventually I'll get her to read them, because she said she's interested. But anyway, I'm gonna start this tomorrow. I'm gonna take a break from reading and just, you know, watch my boyfriend play a little bit of Zelda and relax, because now I'm finally done fucking this stupid dragon book. I did that, oh my god. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. So I hope you liked this video of all these clips of all of these short stories. If you did, hit that like button down there. You can leave comments down there if you have read any of these authors, I will have written out all of the story names and and I'll have the authors and the titles of all these short stories in the doobly-doo below, so you can go find the authors yourselves. And you can tell me down below if you've read any of these authors and how you liked them. Like if they have written any, like, you know, actual novel-size written stuff. You can let me know in the comments below. Just don't be negative, don't be nasty, because we don't need that in the world. We really don't. And if this is the first time you're watching my video, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, unboxing, unbagging, because some things come in a bubble wrap manila envelope and a plastic bag wrapped thingy, and vlogmas, random blogs, and random videos. I have no idea what to categorize. Okay, I'm gonna get going. And I did something earlier that I really don't feel like I should have done, but, well, I did it already. But anyway, I will see you all in my next video, which will be literally the unboxing of this. And then I have a haul, and then I gotta do another haul because of something I bought yesterday and something I bought today and opened, which I shouldn't have done, but oh well, I did it already. So yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.